with us. Before you introduce yourself and tell us your story, let me do something first over here, something small, and then to me it's a good morning. So I'll just tell you good morning, but it's evening on your side. All right. This lady here, this lady, she's very organized, and she really, when she speaks, she's really careful on what she says. And I'm trying to imitate you as well, because that is a good virtue. Family, family, let me tell you something. Today we are really blessed. We are blessed to have this woman here. She's so passionate about relationship and marriage, but also deeply rooted in faith. She's a Christian. Coach Trish is a God-fearing lady who finds genuine joy in helping people build healthy relationships, lasting relationships, strong marriages. And from Monday to Friday, she streams. And do you know what she does in her live stream? They read a book about marriage. So plan to visit her. I can't tell you the time. You have to go and check for yourself. What is happening to Trish? You went for tea. All right. It happens all the time. Now, she streams, I've told you, from Monday to Saturday, pouring wisdom, hope, and truth into people's lives. Our heart for people, our consistency, our love for God are what makes our impact so special. So Coach Trish doesn't only just teach, she serves. She really serves. And welcome. We are honored to have you here. Welcome. You can unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Yes, we can hear you. So welcome and share with us your story before I start giving you some questions here and there.
I am Trish. My actual name is Patricia.
Wow.
Yeah, my actual name is Patricia, and I'm a wife. I'm married to Reverend Samora. My husband is a pastor.
Ooh.
Yeah, and both of us are in the Czech Republic. And I met Coach Imwenda. I hope I'm pronouncing your name well.
Mwendwa. It's okay. People call me Coach MW also. The ones who are not able to pronounce, they call me Coach MW because they're not able to pronounce. But you can go Adasa, you can go anything.
Yeah, Coach Hadasa. Hadasa is a very beautiful name.
Thank you.
So it's really an honor to be here to interact with a lot of amazing people in this house. I am really honored. And so, as I said, I'm a pastor's wife, and I do YouTube or everything social media. But aside that, I'm an archaeologist. Yes, I'm an archaeologist and currently doing my PhD.
Wow.
Yeah. So do I talk about my passion?
Yes, talk about everything. They only know you with relationship and marriages. So you can talk everything about yourself, yes?
Oh, yeah, I also do AI, animated videos for kids. So we have a kids channel on YouTube, which is Kex. Sorry, I've changed the name because I named the channel by my first son. Now that I have another son, I changed the name to the two of them. Okay. So the channel is Kex and Kels. Kex and Kels Kids Bible Adventure. So if you know anyone that is interested in Bible stories, Bible songs for kids, recommend our channel to them. You know me, so you know that it's a safe place for your kids.
It's automatically a safe place, yes.
To learn from. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I love to do IT stuff. Like I love to create websites, do animated videos, pictures, everything. I love to do all those things. Yeah. Now back to relationship. Aside relationship, I love naturally to engage in the act of discipleship. Yes, because I believe that as Christians, it's not enough for you to just be born again, go to church, marry, give birth, work, then Jesus calls you, and then that is all. No, I believe that we all need to live like Christ and make impact. In other words, live a purposeful life. Yeah, so one aspect of it all is focusing on relationship, because I realize that a lot of people are having issues in their relationships and they do not know who to talk to. Oftentimes, because when they open up to people, or pastors or ministers, they use their stories on the pulpit. So a lot of people are not comfortable opening up to them. Yeah, so I try to use my platform to teach people on some of the basic things, and sometimes people make wrong choices. They make wrong choices and then they enter into something that is supposed to be enjoyed, always complaining because they didn't really understand the reason why they married. Most people marry because they want to go and do their do.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They
but
don't know there's a lot involved.
yeah, there is a lot of things in it, and we do not have a lot of parents even teaching that, because they themselves, they didn't learn it. They didn't learn it, so they leave us to go into it. So that is why I have taken it upon myself to research, read books on it, and then share the knowledge with people so that they wouldn't make certain mistakes that could have been avoided. Yeah. So basically, that is what I do. And we also try as much as possible not to be judgmental, because people enter, it didn't work for them. It didn't mean that such person was a bad person. Two good people can be in a relationship, marry, and it wouldn't work. It doesn't mean that these two people are bad people. It's just that things happened, and perhaps they didn't know how to go about it. So I try not to fault them for taking that route. And you never know, life can be some way. Life can be some way. Nobody marries with the idea of going to divorce. But it happens. So we try as much as possible to learn, so that, whichever state you are in, we learn to become better people. So basically, that is what I do. And I'm a faith-based relationship coach. So I try to use the Bible. If God is the one that instituted marriage, then it's very important that we go to his manual to understand how to live with the person he has given us to marry purposefully. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's a lot, but it's a wonderful thing that you're getting used to know you more and more. So I have several questions for you today. I know we don't have time. I know you can explain, but I'm hoping you'll try and shorten things. The first question for you is, how do we communicate without turning every conversation into an argument? Because sometimes you find yourself talking to a spouse and you keep on arguing like you're not in the same page. How do you work on that? How do we do communication without fight, without argument?
Yeah, that's really amazing. And we need to understand that most of the arguments that happen in relationships or in marriages is not really necessarily about the issue, but it's how the people feel, the feeling of unseen, the feeling of unheard, the feeling of unsafe, make people to react that way, which leads to an argument. And so it's a very important question, that how do we communicate without turning every conversation into an argument? And for me, one of the best key is to develop the act of listening. We have to develop the act of listening. Bible says that everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. If all of us can attest, including myself, when someone brings or our partner raises an issue, we are not listening. We are just in a hurry for them to finish so that we defend why we did whatever we did. So if we intentionally learn the act of listening, we would have we would communicate whatever issue it is without turning that issue into an argument. How do you listen? When the person tells you whatever it is, let them finish talking. And then when the person is done, try to see whether you understood what the person is saying. So you say it again. Are you saying that I did A, B, C? Try to understand, because if you do not understand, how then do you respond to whatever the person is saying? And so when you say it again and the person says yes or no, then you let them explain further. So you are going into the conversation like a student. You want to understand what the person is saying. So when the person finishes saying that you did A, B, C, and I didn't like it, then you now start, okay, I really understand where you are coming from. I didn't mean to hurt you, I thought so. Then you also bring your whatever. So first you need to validate the person's feelings. When we learn to listen, understand, and validate their issues, it makes the thing much more easier, and it makes us not to turn that issue into an argument. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Meaning that we need to learn how to listen, not like to think of winning. We develop the act of listening to our partners. Wherever they speak, we try understanding them. Wherever we speak, we try understanding them. And then we'll not be able to argue, because we are paying attention to their needs and they're also paying attention to our needs. Thank you so much for that insight.
And then the other thing we can also look at is the timing of having that conversation. If the person is stressed out and you are going to communicate, maybe whatever you wanted to say is cool, it's nothing for the person to explode, but the person is stressed, the person is tired, the person is not in the right frame of mind, and then you got up to go and raise that issue. The timing will just spoil everything. So timing is also very, very important.
Thank you for that also. Guys, also timing. You time. You see the moods. Maybe they went to work, they came back, they're tired, the work was so difficult. That is not the right time to talk. So you should also time when to speak with your partner. So guys, I hope you are learning, and also we will be able to practice those things if you have difficulties with communication with your spouse or with your friend. All right, let's jump to the next question. Guys, if you have questions, remember to write it down so that at the end we are able to answer all the questions that you have. So the second question I have for you, Trish, oh my goodness, Coach Trish, you told me you are Patricia, right? We can't hear you.
Please come again. I had a call, so I needed to cut it. Yeah.
All right. You said your name is Patricia. She keeps on having a call. Sorry, guys, for this. Sometimes it does happen once in a while. You said your name. You stated your name. I didn't get your name properly. Sorry for that. I can't hear you. We can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Can you get out and come back so that we see? Because I can see your mic is on, but we can't hear you. Yes, thank you. So, guys, sometimes it happens when you receive calls and you are live. It can really interrupt. I'm just praying that nobody calls me at this particular time because I am the streamer, all right? Okay, let me bring up. Okay, I invited. Let me do this as usual. No.
Okay. Should I use my beautiful face?
Yes, what we need to see you. We need to see you. I was talking about your names. Your names.
Yeah, I'm Patricia.
Patricia.
Patricia, yeah.
Yes, I can call you Patricia, but now if we call you Coach Trish, you just say yes
Oh,
because
I love Trish. I love Trish.
yes, we are used to call you that. Yeah, we are used to call you that. All right. Our second question for you is: how do we rebuild trust after betrayal, after being lied to, after maybe emotional distance? Because for women, I know it's different than men. What we view this for men is different from what women view. So let us know, how do you deal with this issue? How do you rebuild trust?
So rebuilding trust, we have to see it like fixing a broken glass or pot, right? You've broken something, you've hurt someone, there's a crack, now you want to fix it. When we start seeing it that way, it will make it much more easier because you need patience to bring those parts together, to align, to get to the shape that, even after refixing it, it doesn't really come out like the way the pot
It was
originally
originally.
was in terms of the smoothness. So first we need patience. We need patience. Then secondly, you need to be transparent. Whatever you did that led to the breaking of trust, you have to do things for this person that you have hurt to now start seeing you the way he or she used to see you. And you have to put in a lot of effort, right? So you need to volunteer information without being asked. You need to volunteer information about where you are, who you are with. If your issue was with cheating, and for that matter, the person is not trusting you. If you went out and you spoke to a lady, when you come home, just say, I met so and so out and then we spoke, or I took this photo with this lady and she posted online. Volunteer information before she finds that picture on TikTok or Facebook and now come and be wondering, you said you've changed, but I see that you are still talking with other girls. But when you volunteer information and this person sees the image somewhere, or someone comes to tell her, I saw your partner at so and so restaurant, she's already informed. So we have to be patient. We have to volunteer information. No more secrets. No more hiding your phone passwords. If you have to.
Is it really practical, like not to hide passwords?
Yeah, I know my husband's passwords from his ATM to his phone. Yeah, but there has never been a day that I took his phone to check whether a certain
Yes,
girl
because
is
you already trust him. So
exactly.
yes, but now giving you the passwords and everything means she trusts you. You can pick his calls, you can do anything
Yes.
with his phone. So it means trust. But I love what you have stated. There's no time even in your mind told you, oh, let me go and check who he has been talking to, what he has been doing. No, nothing like that came to your mind. Thank you so much for sharing. I know what happens when betrayal comes. Rebuilding can be a challenge because even if there's apologies, Healing takes time. They have to prove to you
They
to
have
build
to.
that, and it will take time to
Yeah.
build that. So, and
And there is this say do ratio. If you promise that maybe your what led to the breaking of trust was, oh, I will take you out for a dinner, and then it was time for dinner, you didn't show up. The next time it's like you're a future faker. Oh, I will take you to the mall. It gets to the time you do not do it, the person wouldn't even trust you. So if you want to rebuild that trust, what you need to do is, okay, today we'll go out for dinner at 12 o'clock. Make sure you are at the person's place 11:55. You say that you do this, but be there earlier. Do the thing much more earlier.
you have someone coming in.
Yeah, a moment. I don't know whether my husband went to church. I don't know whether he took his phone or he didn't. So let me check that.
All right. She'll be back shortly in this live stream. Today we are having some breaks. So don't worry. When you have a family, you have kids. I know some of you go live here and you have kids and how they can interact or something happens in the home. So kindly bear with what is happening right now. We are discussing about finding purpose in marriage and relationships. We have learned that if you know that you always argue, pay attention and start listening to your partner, listen to them. And also we have learned if there's betrayal, trust has to be built. It takes time. It takes time. People apologize, but make sure you make a promise, you fulfill that promise. Be consistency. Promise and fulfill. You better not promise if you know something will happen and you not fulfill it. Welcome back, Coach Trish. Let's continue with our conversation. Question for you, the next question for you. Everything okay? You're all set?
Yeah. And I wanted to add that you should understand why the person feels the way he or she is feeling after you have hurt him or her. You do not say, but I've already apologized. Why are you still behaving this way? Give the person time. Acknowledge that I know you feel distant because I did ABC. I am so sorry. Try to reaffirm your apology and you'll be good to go.
Okay, don't repeat again and again, like the same thing again and again. All right. And also when you receive apology, don't qualify yourself all the time. No, try continue apologizing. It doesn't matter if she had forgiven and she has remembered. Don't disqualify them. You better make peace. Next question. Yeah, true. All right. Is it normal to feel disconnected even though we love each other? Because sometimes you stay together and you feel that disconnection, like you want distance or there's already existing distance between you. Is it normal?
Yes, it's very normal to feel disconnected from your partner even though you love each other. And we need to know that it's normal, because sometimes when you're in a relationship for some time, a lot of things happen. Sometimes you might even feel like you are siblings or roommates. It's very, very normal. Sometimes maybe it could be the act of parenting, taking care of kids, stress, workload, maybe you're even in a survival season, so you are both looking for money, and sometimes will make both of you feel as if you do not love each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that at that particular season, you are trying to find yourselves, But Bible says that we should not grow weary of doing good things. That is why we have to be intentional. And the most important thing is that the love doesn't disappear. It just gets neglected. So when you recognize that both of you have become distant, that is the first step. You have to recognize it. And then secondly, do something about it. Do something about it. Yeah.
What if the other party does not recognize? You're the only person who recognizes them.
That is very interesting. So you have to have a conversation. You go to the person and be like, I feel like
disconnected.
I feel disconnected. I feel like we are not spending enough quality time like we used to. If you do not draw the person's attention to it, the other person is gone. That's why the Bible says that two are better than one.
Sure.
One will see what the other person is seeing in every season. And when you have conversation or intentional conversation about the issue, you are able to solve it and move on better. And so there are practical things you should do when you identify that both of you are disconnected. You need to start small, like I said. You need to talk about it, share how you feel. It's very nice when you are vulnerable to your partner. Oh, I feel like of late we've not been touching each other as we used to. Then this partner of yours will be like, oh, it looks like my wife or husband desires me, and it kind of rekindles the relationship. So vulnerability in a positive sense in marriages or relationships help us to solve some of these things when we feel like we are being disconnected. But it's normal. And also we have to be intentional, like I said, and now start loving people. Oh, thank you so much for the amazing gift. I'm so grateful. Start loving people based on their terms. There is this book, the first book we read, Things I Wish I Had Gotten, Things I Wish I Had Known Before We Got Married. The writer, Gary Chapman, wrote another book, which is 5 Love Languages. There are different ways to express love to people, and you need to identify your partner's way of how he or she feels love and love the person based on his or her terms. Now, your partner can feel disconnected in the relationship because you think you are loving her or him, but you are not loving him or her in their term of understanding love. For example, my love language is receiving gifts. I love it when people gift me. I really love it. Like, my love will go like this for you,
If you receive a gift, a necklace,
Yeah, I love it.
earring,
It's not necessarily about how big the gift is,
Yes.
but it's the thoughts behind it.
Exactly.
You saw this gown, it's nice, and you decided to buy it for me. It means you were thinking of me at that time. If your partner's love language is receiving gifts, and you, the husband, your love language is words of affirmation, and then you come to your partner whose own is receiving gifts, you be like, oh, you are beautiful, you are, I like the way you talk, I like the way, it wouldn't work on her or him,
No.
Because that is not how
Action.
she.
There's no action.
Exactly.
It's only talking, but
No.
I can't see the
Can you
action.
imagine? Yeah, or if your wife's love language is act of service, she wants you to help her in the kitchen, and you are not helping her take care of the kids, and you are just giving her gifts. She'll receive the gifts, all right, but she's not happy in the marriage, and
Exactly.
that will make the person feel disconnected. You think you are loving, but you are not loving based on the person's terms. Let me end here. If you leave me, I'll summarize.
Continue. Because every question is like, it's very wide. It's very wide. But those are the questions that come up with couples and people in the relationship. That's why I collected the question, and that's why I'm asking you these questions. So the next question I have for you is, how do we handle conflict in a healthy way? How do we handle conflict in an healthy way? Conflicts always happen. We will get on one another nerves at one point. So how do we handle that? Somebody asked a question, Lover girl, make sure you keep that question. That's why I told you, write down the question. The people who are joining, welcome in. Stay tuned. We are talking about finding purpose in marriage and relationship. And we have Coach Trish over here sharing. She has shared a story and we are continuing with the question. So if you have any question, write it down, and then we're going to handle after this. Thank you so much. All right, I'll jump to question 3, which I've just asked. How do we handle conflict in an healthy way?
We need to understand that in a healthy relationship, or what we consider as healthy relationship, it doesn't mean that there wouldn't be conflict, there wouldn't be misunderstanding. They will come because we are two different people from two different backgrounds, experiences, expectations, values, and all that. When we understand these differences, it will help us to now know how to avoid unnecessary conflicts, or how to handle conflicts in a healthy way, right? And one of the ways of handling conflicts in a healthy way is to understand that Bible says that in your anger, do not sin. In your anger, do not sin. The person did something you did not like. Try and see how we can solve it than thinking in your mind that I'm going to do a payback for this person. You know, for example, maybe you realize your partner has been talking to a certain girl and you are not happy about it. And instead of finding a way to handle this conflict, this issue that is creating conflict in the marriage, you'd be like, okay, me too, I'll go and date another boy, and so that he will know how it feels to be treated this way. In your anger, you are sinning, but Bible says that in your anger, do not sin. So we need to first of all address the issue, not the person. Sometimes when we are addressing issues, we end up attacking the individual. It is not the individual here, it is the issue that we need to discuss. And when we understand that, it will help us not to even use certain terms, or certain words. You are silly, you are stupid, you are. When you say you are, it means you are attacking the character of the person, not addressing the issue that is at hand. And then we need to also talk about one issue at a time. Whatever the issue is that is creating the conflict, let's talk about that one issue. Do not bring old issues, yes, 2 years ago you did this and that, 3 years ago, but you're talking about something I did this morning. Let's talk about what I did this morning. Don't go and bring those other things. When you do that, it doesn't help. It's not a healthy way of resolving that conflict. Because if all of us can attest, when we do not focus on one issue at a time when trying to solve it, we'll end up bringing certain things at the end of the discussion. There is no solution. We didn't even talk about anything because we did not focus on that one particular thing. And then we should also understand that maybe from past experiences, you realize that when there's a misunderstanding or issue and one person gets so heated up, there is a slap, there is abuse and those kind of things. If you have experienced something like that, you need to talk about it and now set boundaries. I do not like it when you raise your voice at me when we are having this kind of situation. If you do this and that, this is what I'm going to do. I will take a break. I will walk away. Let's give each other time out, 15 minutes, and then we'll come back to discuss this issue. When you see that the thing is becoming heated, see that you keep quiet. Do something that will help bring that thing down. And it's one of the ways of. And then if you realize that whatever is causing the conflict or that is being discussed, you are at fault, accept, apologize, and then reconnect. Don't try to prove that, you are right. You could be right in whatever submission you wanted or whatever that led to the conflict. But maybe the way you said it was offensive. So you need to also understand your part and then apologize and accept, then reconnect. Yeah.
Thank you so much. According to what you have said a lot, but it seems every time you speak about it, we are looking for a solution. We should concentrate on getting solution to the problem, not like fighting each other. You did this, now I'm going to do this. You don't find more faulty. Try and find solution in the problem. Every time there's conflict, look for solution. Concentrate on getting out to get solve. You solve the matter. Thank you so much for sharing.
And then it takes us back to the first question you asked. When we develop the act of listening, then during this stage, we have practiced it, you know,
yeah.
and then you can ask, so what do we do? How do we solve it? What are you suggesting? You know, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing this information. The next question for you: how do we keep love and intimacy alive after kids? Because right now, or stress, right now, as a mother, you said you have 2 kids right now. Now you have 3 big responsibility apart from the normal responsibilities. How do you go about it? Because now things become complicated. Even me, when I got married, I have some kids as well, although they are grown. Balancing is the issue. How do you handle those issues? How do you handle intimacy when you are stressed up or when kids come because of more responsibilities that you have?
The last time you were talking about, I don't know whether it was Mama Chi or one of the lives, and you talked about the fact that you married quite early.
Yes.
I think it was yesterday, right?
Yes.
And so I'll be inviting you to my life to come and share your experience.
I'll sure come.
I was telling my husband about she married early, 21. I really would want to know more about what happened.
Trust me, it's not a good experience. At the same time, when you get kids, you thank God, because what you see in those babies, the first time you hold them, it's a blessing. It's like, did they really come out of me? You know? Yes, you are mother. You know the feeling now. You know the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, so how do we keep love and intimacy life after kids, stress, or busy schedules? Yeah, it's a lot. But we need to first of all understand the concept of marriage. You know, God made the woman to be a suitable helpmeet to the man. So your husband or your wife, so a lady, your husband is your priority. You are to be his helpmeet. You know, when we always understand this and kids, work, whatever come in, we wouldn't forget our place, you know, or we wouldn't forget the assignment. The truth of the matter is that it can be overwhelming taking care of kids, changing diapers, feeding, bathing, saying, stop it, don't go here, don't do that. You feel drained. And the attempt of taking care of these people and taking care of yourself, because your mental health, wellness, it's
a lot.
It's a lot. You are likely to even forget. You are likely to even forget your responsibility as a wife to your husband. And so we need to be intentional about it. We need to be very, very intentional about it. That yes, kids come, they will grow, they will live, and it will be left with you and your husband. And if that love and intimacy that you had before these kids came is not revived, then by the time the kids leave, there is a vacuum, you know. You are disconnected, because eventually they will leave, they'll go to college, they will marry, they will start making their own families, and your husband will be there, right? So we need to be intentional and understand that God made us helpmeet, or God made the man a provider for the wife, and all of us should do our assignments in the attempts of taking care of the kids the Lord has blessed us with. And then yesterday, my husband and I were discussing this topic, this particular topic. Then we're like, that's why some people, you become, when they stop becoming intentional, the time they are supposed to go and sleep by their wives and be cuddling them, they are on TikTok.
Exactly. It can happen. It can happen.
They are on TikTok or they are on Twitter fighting. And then by the time you realize your wife is asleep, then you go and sleep. Or sometimes you're overwhelmed with work. Lava girl is smiling. It's true.
She knows what happens.
And then sometimes some of the women will go and put the kids in the middle of the bed. Now your husband is on the right, you are on the left, the kids are in the middle. And some people can do that for 8 good years, 10 good years, all in the name of the kids are young. And every day they are sleeping in between you and your husband. And that intimacy is not there. Yeah. And the only time you are intimate is when you need something and just go and do quick and go. But
yeah.
It moves beyond that. The cuddle, the touch, the hugs, so we have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. I was listening to TED Talk on relationship some time ago, and then they were saying there is a 30 seconds rule of kissing for partners, and you can 30 seconds, it's reconnect. Some people to believe in hug. You hug your partner. I mean, so some of these things, if you are praying, hold hands, do things, little things that to be reconnecting. Both of you go for a walk, vacation.
Some people, it's funny, okay? Then they don't get to get such things.
Yeah.
So what if I'm working, my husband is working, I have little kids, I'm so tired, he doesn't come and help me, so I'm drained.
Yeah, it's challenging when the other partner is not being supportive, but if you have the resources, then you can get a nanny. But you're also careful that you do not want the case whereby the nanny will come and take your husband away from you.
It has happened before, not once, not twice.
Yeah. And so just try and not do everything. What you can do, you do it. I mean, you do not have to stress yourself like, let me clean my house every day. When you are tired, you are tired. There are certain things that you need to, if you have resources, you just get cleaners. They should come and clean your house once a week. Then that stress is taken care of. If your husband cannot help you, you can have the conversation about it with him. Because it's very stressful, you doing the work alone, cooking, and then in the night you're expected to perform another work, plus your own work.
Plus your kids, plus.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Then with shopping, for example, I mean, now sometimes when I don't remember the last time I really went to the shop to shop. Just shop online. Let them bring the thing to you. You have saved yourself some time. So if you can do certain things that can reduce the burden. If you're tired, you don't have to cook. Just order for the food. But do not do it every day because it's expensive. Yeah. Or try to cook in bulk. You don't have to cook every day, Monday, Tuesday. If it's Friday, you cook in bulk, put it in the fridge, just microwave it, and then to save you time. So we have to be intentional and do certain things that can save us time and make us enjoy life. After all, what are we here for? To fulfill purpose, enjoy life, and make impact. Yeah.
So what we need to do, be intentional. In everything you do, be intentional. All right, let's move to the next question. Guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. Keep on commenting, keep on sharing. Let us know your views in the comment section. Thank you guys for showing up, and thank you for showing us you are learning something. All right, so our next question: how do I express my needs without sounding selfish, because ladies have needs, and sometimes we express and the other party may think we are selfish. Same applies to men. They have their needs and they can ask for things until you're like, why are you selfish? So how do you express ourselves without looking as if we are selfish?
I think that it's normal for us to have our needs, and we have to be honest about it. You know, Bible says in Ephesians 4:15 that we should speak the truth in love. You have a need. Present your need to your partner, but you should present it in a way that it's not like you are demanding, you know. You just let the person know that I need this matters to me, or I need support for this and that. If you have it, if you do not have it, I'm not forcing. Like, it's not like if you do not give me this, I will not give you that. You know, so we need to just speak the truth in love. And sometimes, so you know the house you are in, you know your marriage. Let's talk about even finances. You know your finances. Well, there are some people who hide their finances from their wives. So the wife might think that you have money, but you do not have money, you know, and she might be putting like pressure on you, but you know you do not have money, and it will feel like she's being selfish or she's demanding too much. It's because she doesn't know that you don't have money, you know. But if you know your husband and you know that this is the amount of money we have, there are certain demands you wouldn't demand during this phase, because it's a struggling phase. We have only $10,000 in the account, and now you are requesting for Louis Vuitton. You know, so you need to be honest that you need this, and the other person too must be honest whether they have it or they do not have it, and then we will be able to solve that. So having a need is not a bad thing. The way we ask for these needs also matters. And if you are the one that is being asked, if you can solve it, you let us know. If you cannot solve it, just let us know in love. You know, I mean, why marriage? We are supposed to help each other. We are supposed to encourage each other. We are supposed to support each other. We are supposed to even share each other's burdens. So if you do not have money, why are you hiding it from me that you do not have money? You know, will I leave you because you do not have? Well, some people will leave anyway. Yeah, so if there is honesty in the marriage, there are certain things you wouldn't ask for. But if you feel like you just let the person, I just want you to know that I would love it if I get this and that, but it's not by force, you know. Yeah, this matters to me and I want to know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. According to what you have said in a summary, don't hide if you need something. Express to avoid frustration. Make sure you express. Transparency is important. You won't like keep on asking for something when you know you are not financially stable at that particular time. So openness and sharing, it's good to share what you need with your partner. Thank you so much.
And I want to add a quick one. So the needs varies. We have emotional needs, we have communication needs, we have financial needs, we have time and presence needs. So whatever you need, just speak it out. Affection and intimacy needs. I mean, I some time ago there was an issue on Facebook, and the long and short of it was the pastor had not had an intimate sexual intimacy with the wife for almost a year.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And yes, and then this girl ended up having an affair with the pastor's brother, and the pastor caught them and posted a video online.
He did not think about twice.
You know, and all that. And then the lady came out to say that She did what she did because the husband has not touched her for a whole year. And so I made a reaction video. I'm like, how can you be in a marriage and you've not been touched for a whole year? Me, I cannot live 1 month. I cannot survive. And people were laughing at me.
For a social affection, that's true. You can never survive that. 1 year, what?
1 month. Whilst you are my husband, no. We have to do something about it. She shouldn't have kept quiet. She needed something.
People are laughing in the comments.
I know, right? You need intimacy and you are there struggling. Talk to your husband about it. If he doesn't listen, you had counselors who counseled you before marriage. Report your husband to these counselors. Let us talk about it. My body is not firewood. I mean, what is it?
That's true. Thank you so much for sharing this practical information that is going to help us in our marriages. Thank you so much for the comments as well. Now, let's move to the next question. What if we have different values and goals? Because when you quote, okay, I did not do courtship myself, but when you quote, people may pretend they're like this because they want to win you. They might be in the best behavior, but once you get in, then you start seeing things you never saw before. Marriage is not like you read, you graduate. No, you graduate fast before getting in. So after graduation is the time you are learning. So what if we have different values and goals?
That's a very important question. The issue is that a lot of people, when they are dating or in the courtship stage, some of these things, they were there, but they didn't pay attention to it. Some of them, they saw it, but they didn't want to have tough conversations around it. Some of them, they decided to be quiet about it, and this person thought that the fact that you were quiet about it, it's okay with you. And so we allow the butterflies, the I love you face to blind us from being critical. I think in courtship, we need to be very, very critical. And if you are listening to me and you are not married, this is really good for you because you have to be, it's true.
You have to know ahead.
You have to know ahead.
Yes.
So that is why on my life, I try to read some of these books and then we discuss so that you are not blinded with the I love you face and do not ask certain questions. And then you now enter the marriage. During the marriage, now we've both gotten what we want. We are naked and unashamed. Now your real behavior is exposed. And one man of God said that the little ant you see in a relationship is more than an elephant in marriage. You see, so if you see anything, value, expectations, and you do not like it, you have to ask yourself certain questions. What do we do when we have different values, goals, expectations, especially around finances, faith, parenting, or future plans? This is after you have known and observed. Let's say now you are married. You have known, you've observed, or you're in a dating phase or courtship phase. You have known, you have observed. You ask yourself these questions. And I like what you are doing for this community, teaching them about purpose, talents, gifts. And all of us, we have a purpose. And the book we've been reading on my page recently, it also talks about purpose in marriage, and that we are to be helpmeets to our spouses, right? Our husbands. The woman is to be a helpmeet to the husband. And so you have to choose someone whose purpose aligns with your purpose. You see, so during the During the dating, so that was why I remember one of the life I was talking. I think I don't remember where, but I was talking about the fact that I have two people, and I knew that if I go with this person, I will be here. If I go with this person, I will be here.
No, I
So
was
I
not
prayed
there.
about
I
it,
was
and
not
yes,
there.
because I knew what I wanted to become, the direction I wanted to go in life, and so I chose based on that and with inner peace, conviction, and all that. So, first, you need to ask yourself, can I live with these differences in the long term? Can I live with it? Does the differences I'm seeing, does it
Your voice has gone. Your voice has gone. So you're speaking good.
yes, does it touch my core identity or calling? Then you have to ask, why is this important? If you've identified it, ask the person, why is this thing important to you? Why do you behave this way? Why do you spend money this way? You need to understand that. And then you speak clearly, things that you can negotiate. There are some of us, some things are non-negotiable. So you need to know what is non-negotiable for this person and the ones that are negotiable. If you are not married and you think that that which is non-negotiable, you cannot negotiate it, and you will run for your life, you run for your life. For example, let's say I'm a Christian and I want my kids to be trained in the Christian faith, and then I'm in a relationship with someone who is not in my faith. You check, will this person be ready to come into my faith? If the person says no, when we give birth, our kids need to be in his faith, then you ask yourself, is this something you can go with? Me, I cannot. So I will not even consider you, and that is why during the dating and courtship phase, it's a time to ask tough questions so that you don't get surprised when you enter the marriage. Yeah. So when you identify the ones that are negotiable, then you both see how you can meet each other in the middle. But if it's not negotiable, and if you're already married, I don't know what I can do for you.
All right. So the major things you should consider about values is like faith, it's like finances, and also how to bring the kids up, right?
Yeah.
So guys, when you're in a relationship before you get married, hey, check your values if they're aligning, especially those three major things. Because I've just summarized what she said about faith, about finances, how do they spend their money, and about how you're going to bring up the children. Because if you have different faiths, when the children grow up, do you want them to be confused? Where are they going? You should be together. You should be aligned. Everything you do, never confuse your babies. Then, yes. How is he spending money? Is it that guy who spends the money all the time? Is that woman buying shopping all the time? Why are you spending money like this? So you should come in agreement as you move on and go on. So if someone is private about their finances, is private about church issues, is private about how you're going to bring up the kids, then there is a problem that needs to be solved. So if you love watching football and you love watching comedies or soap operas, that one is not a difficult thing. But when it comes to faith, finances, children, be alert. Thank you so much for sharing. Our next question. How do we set boundaries with others? How do you set boundaries with others? Like agreeing about our exes, because maybe you had an ex somewhere, maybe even in-laws, something like that. So boundaries in relationship.
We need to understand, Bible says that, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined with his wife, and the two shall become one. So it is you and your husband against everybody, against your family, your friends, your exes and all that. It doesn't mean that these people are not important. Your my husband's family, they are important. My family are important, but there should be this unity between you and your husband. You know, you both need to agree on something, and then you present it to the other people. This is what my husband and I have decided to do. So we need to understand, we are not saying that you should reject your family. It's just that we are reordering priorities. Your spouse should be your number one, your family should be your number one. That's your nuclear, your spouse. Then the other people would now come in. You need to set boundaries. You need to set boundaries that needs to be set. Your ex, my ex, you are not my friend. It's not like it's not like what do we call it? We are having an issue or we are at loggerheads. When I see you, I'll greet you, all right, but you are not my friend, because I need to set down boundaries, and especially for people who have had other intimate relationship with their exes. If you are not careful, you go and rekindle a fire that is, you are trying to quench. So as much as possible, but in a situation where, let's say, you are divorced, right, and you have kids, and you are married to a different person, your kid's father will always be in the picture, right? But you need to set boundaries. Whatever conversation we are having is conversations around the welfare of the kids. It's not something relating to my emotion, my personal life. No, it's not your concern. It's not your concern. So when we understand some of these things, it will save us a lot. It's not easy. Sometimes when you're trying to set boundaries, the other people will try to guilt trip you, make you feel bad and all that. You should just know that the boundary you are setting, it's working, so you need to set boundaries. Don't entertain certain things that will break your home. Don't entertain certain things that will break your home. Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is that the real principle should be first. My husband and I should be first before the other people.
Thank you so much for sharing that. You have already summarized what I wanted to summarize. But what if, when you quote, you always, maybe the other party is talking, my mom, let's consult my mom before we do this. Let's consult. Is that...
I didn't marry your mother. I mean, you need to, especially as a man, you need to take charge of your home. It is your home, right? It is your home. Yes, you can seek counsel from your friends, your family concerning something, but don't come and say, my mother said we should do it this way, so let's do it this way. No, we need to reason. Let's discuss. Don't come and impose whatever your mother told you on me. Then it means you, the person, you are childish. You can't think for yourself. You cannot take charge. Then you're not ready for marriage,
Sure, you're not ready. If everything you have to consult, then you are not ready. Thank you, everybody, the ones who are joining in. Thank you, the people who are contributing to this live stream. I see you. Can you tap the screen so that I'm able to give you a shout out? I saw a lady from our community. I'm trying to remember a name. Yes? I can't remember a name, but I know Yes, thank you so much for being here. The ones who are joining, thank you. May you continue being here. We are discussing about finding purpose in marriage and relationship, and I'm here with Coach Trish, and she's sharing. We have covered a lot. Don't left behind. If you have a question, don't hesitate to write it down in a short while. We are going to answer your question because we have 2 more questions. I have only 2 more questions for you so that we can see what you have. If you have questions, put them ready. Lavagad, I saw you had a question. Put it ready. We are going to answer all your questions. Thank you. Coach Trish, How do I know if the relationship is worth fighting for? How do I know if a relationship is worth fighting for?
Okay, we need to understand that scripture says that God is not a God of confusion but of peace. And fighting for should be both ways, you know. I should be ready to do things to make this relationship work, but you should also be ready to. If it is just one person fighting for the survival of the relationship, it is not going to work. You
Exactly.
need to ask yourself certain questions. You need to ask yourself, do I understand where this relationship is going? Maybe you're in a relationship with someone for 5 years and there's no clarity in the relationship. Is it worth fighting for? Because you want marriage, but this person wants cohabitation, no marriage, you know. And for you understand what it means to be married in maybe a Christian, and you know that the right thing to do is to be married, and this person says, no, I do not believe in that, and you're in a relationship 5 years, 10 years, then my sister, you'll be in for 20 years, he will not marry you.
True.
So you ask yourself, is it worth fighting for? You need to understand, where is this relationship going? Expectations have to be clear. It has to be clear. If it is not clear, and your words and actions must align, like I said, both of us should do things with the aim of fighting for this relationship to survive. But if I am fighting and you are not fighting, then it's not going to, it's not worth fighting for. Then you also ask yourself, do I feel settled in this relationship? Do I have peace in this relationship? You don't have peace. The relationship you are in every day, your BP is high. What kind of relationship is that? Every day you are crying.
You are crying.
Every
That's
day
true.
you are abused. Every day you are beaten. They are slapping you, and you are still there. You
It's
need
not
to.
worth.
It's not. There are some relationships you do not need to fight. If you are not married and they are treating you in this way, then imagine yourself after you are married in this kind of,
Oh, we laugh.
just
Exactly.
because you want to put on a ring so that they'll call you Mrs. So you want to endure certain things. There are some relationships that are not worth fighting for, but there are some that are worth fighting for when both of you want to make this work. You ask yourself, can I express myself in this relationship without fear? There are some relationships that you dare not talk. If you talk right now, you receive a slap.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Can I express my feeling in this relationship? If you cannot express your feeling in this relationship, then it will feel like you are in a military camp. You know, so you need to ask certain questions. Am I heard, or am I always dismissed? Do I feel safe to be honest in this relationship? If these things are not checked for you, then it's not worth fighting for, because Bible says that two are better than one. So it should come from both ends. Two are better than one. You should not be afraid of letting go if you have to let go. I always say that if your hands are full, you cannot receive extra gifts. Sometimes you need to let go. Maybe I've been in a relationship for 17 good years, and this person is not planning to marry you. And you're saying, I've wasted my 20s. Now, if I leave, will I get someone else to marry me?
Yeah.
So you want to be in it. Sometimes you just have to let go. Maybe the person who wants to marry you is just in the corner, it's your friend. He's just waiting for you to let go so that he will come into your life. But you're also holding on because you're afraid. Imagine when you saw this thing 2 years ago. If you had let go, by now you'd have started a new relationship and be heading somewhere. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I'm gone. Sorry for this. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. I was oh, it has taken long. It has taken long. I disappeared. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can
Thank
hear
you.
you.
I was setting my goal. Sorry for that, but we have had you. A relationship should not be one-sided. A relationship that is worth fighting for should be not one side. It should like be both of you. You need it. Both of you, you want the relationship. So you're fighting to like each other. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It should be like both of you, not one person is running and you are running after them. No, it should not. And that issue of age is true. You have spent time with someone many years, they're not marrying you, then you said, I've spent maybe 10 years with him, I'll not get somebody. No, love yourself. It's time for you to have self-love. It doesn't matter, you don't have to be married. And if you get another person, why not? Why not? Marriage is meant to be a beautiful thing. Okay, single is also a beautiful thing, but both sides, there's advantages and disadvantages. People may boast they are single like me here, but there's some disadvantages. There's some things I'm not getting, which I should be getting. But anyway, there's advantage and there's advantages and disadvantages, both sides. Both sides. Thank you so much for sharing this information with us. We love you. And thank you everybody for being here, joining us and listening to what we are saying. Make sure you have written down your question because we are almost handling them right now. My last question for you is, how can we heal individually so that relationship can thrive, can grow? How do you heal individually? Because sometimes you get betrayed, then you do forgiveness, or you leave. For example, I've spent with someone for 5 years together and I can't see the fruits and I want to heal. I have already come out of it. I love myself now. Now I have to move on with my life. But that procedure, I need some healing. So how do I heal individually? At the same time, how do I heal even if the relationship is still on?
That's a very interesting question.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. To heal, so how can we heal individually so our relationship can thrive? First of all, you need to name the thing you need healing for. You see, if you do not name the thing you need healing for, then you wouldn't be able to pay attention to it. And little triggers around or surrounding that thing in your next relationship will make you very, very aggressive, will make you overreacting and all that, because you have not consciously named the things you need to heal from and intentionally let go of those things. It is not easy to get broken hearts. If you have gotten broken hearts before, you understand. I mean, it's not easy to get broken hearts, and it's not even easy to be in broken hearts phase.
Yeah.
You see, but when you find yourself there, do not start blaming people. I mean, try to choose yourself. Cry when you have to cry. If you have to cry, cry. I mean, cry. If you have to cry, cry. If you need to pray about it, pray about it. And then you need to talk to people who have had such experiences before. Go for therapy if you need. Go for counsel if you need. You know, you need to really deal with it, especially from people who have been in an abusive relationship. You need to heal. You need to take certain steps to heal, because if you do not, you always be afraid to enter the next relationship because you think that the same thing is likely to happen. So yeah, you have to guard your heart. heal, pray, cry if you have to cry, forgive. I think that it helps. Like, forgive the person, forgive, they've hurt you. Forgive them, let them go. If the relationship didn't work, maybe they broke up with you, tell yourself that it is their loss. It is their loss, because you know your self-worth, you know your value, you know who you are. Your life should not be stuck because one relationship didn't work. There's someone somewhere who is ready to love you to the moon and back. So first of all, understand who you are, appreciate your values, and be proud about your values, proud about your values. And with that, you won't be broken for too long. You get up and do what you need to do. I mean, stop crying. There are some people, they do not deserve your tears. I mean, think about it. I didn't hurt you, you are the one who hurt me. So why should I be crying? You cheated. Why should I be taking the blame that maybe because let's say we are in a relationship, I said no sex before marriage because I want us to have sex after marriage, and then in the course of the relationship you went to cheat, and now I found out you've broken up in the relationship, but I keep thinking if I had had sex with you, I'm sure we wouldn't have broken up and all that. It is not you, it is the person. You know your worth. You should even thank God that they showed you this behavior. What if you gave them the sex and still they cheated? Then what happens? So self-worth is very, very important. Know your value. And when you get broken hearts, cry, pray, heal. Hello, my friends.
They're coming to check on you.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, that's what you should do.
Thank you so much. It's good to have like personal therapy. I'm just summarizing on what you already said. Like, it's good to have personal therapy. It's good to have self-reflection, and also prayer is also very important.
And journaling. I'll be releasing a journal very soon. And it helps, if you are shy to talk to people, just write it in your journal. Write it in your journal.
Journaling is very good. Some people, I discussed about that before, and you find people being scared because somebody might find their book.
I know.
They would love to do it, but they could hide. I know my daughter. My daughter loves journaling, so she writes her stuff and hides, but by mistake we're able to see what she's writing, but we don't tell her because we invaded her privacy. But it's good to know what is going on. I'm not saying people should invade on other people's privacy, but you can stumble to some, but she really knows how to hide stuff. She knows how. So that's why I'm talking about journaling. Sometimes people get we don't want her to stop journaling. That's why we don't tell her what we found. Yeah, because it's very good for her. It's very good for her. But most of the people, including me, fear to journal. Because I normally do it, but I cut off the pieces and throw away, because you are like, if somebody stumbles on this information, because I'm like pouring my heart, my feelings, my everything. When you are journaling, you are writing everything, you want it to come out. You don't want to be associated with it. You want it to go. So those things happen. We are waiting for your book so that we can read and get that courage of journaling. Guys, if you are afraid of journaling, there's a book coming up. Pay attention. You're going to read amazing books that they're going to add value in your life. So guys, it's time for you to ask question. Coach Trish said she's in Facebook, in YouTube. Are you also in Facebook and Instagram?
Everywhere. Instagram.
So next time you're going to invite her to talk about AI. She's a specialist in that area. So guys, stay tuned with the events and everything. Somebody is saluting you, or you want to do a question, is asking a question. Welcome. You can open, changing your app here. Let me see. You need to open your mic and ask your question. Lava girl, also you need to ask your question. You're welcome, guys. The platform is all ready for you now.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So I have 5 questions. So let me just ask them one by one. Hopefully, I won't be cut off. The network isn't quite good.
Okay.
All right. The first one is, what is the right decision to get married? Some people do because it's tradition, it's their culture. Some people because of society pressure to do so. Some they just do it so that they have children to take care of them when they're old. Some do it for conjugal rights, as you said earlier. Some just for looks. This guy looks good, let me marry him. Some are under the illusion of a fairy tale based on the movies they see, and some just for money, for financial stability, so they don't have to worry so much about money and taking care of themselves. So what do you think is the right reason to get married, other than just say that's how it should be, rather than just saying it's just a stage in life?
Thank you for the good question.
So the right reason to marry is to fulfill purpose. Basically, it's to fulfill purpose, and we should understand that the one who created us brought us here for an assignment. Like when Adam was created because he was supposed to take care of the garden, and then God said it was not good for him to be alone, so he made him a suitable helpmeet. So I always say that for you to have a very fruitful marriage, you need, especially as a man, to identify.
All right, she'll be right back. Parenting, if you're a parent over here, sometimes you need to take care of issues. When you want to do something, Faye, I know you can connect. When you want to go online and talk to your people, the baby interferes. And what do? You have to take care of some issues in the... Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? Welcome back, Coach.
Yeah, so I was saying that we need to identify, especially as a man, you need to identify what God has called you for. And Coach has been teaching us on how to identify your purpose. And then when the woman comes, she's coming to help you, but she also has her own purpose, right? So she will do whatever she's doing, but also helping you. And then both of you are doing whatever you are doing to fulfill whatever God has called your family for. Then the other things are the additional stuff, for companionship, for intimacy. Because the truth of the matter is, let's say, for example, the woman, you give birth, your body changes and all that. So if you marry because of looks, and then she breastfeeds 1-2 children and her breast has become like pancake, you'll be tempted to look elsewhere. Or you married because of money, and maybe, or you married because the person is a doctor working in the hospital. What if he loses his job and now is doing something else? So if we marry based on the other physical things, if they are not there, then the likelihood of that marriage surviving is very minimal. But if we marry because we know there is a purpose for that marriage, we would go far as we are enjoying the other things. As her stomach has become big, that that's not necessarily what you are looking for. Both of you are fulfilling purpose based on whatever you're doing. So that should be the ultimate aim. Do not let anyone give you pressure because maybe you are 30, 35, they are giving you pressure to marry. So now any man that comes your way, you accept. It's not easy to be married. It's not easy to stay married. So if you do not make the right choice, you'll be frustrated. You'll be very, very frustrated. And for me personally, I believe that we should always hear God's voice concerning who we are to be married to. When you hear God's voice concerning who you have to be married to and you are in the marriage and challenges come, situations come, you tell yourself that because I heard from God that this is the person I should be married to, God knows that I could handle this. That is why it is coming. So with that, I do not easily let go of it because there is this particular challenge. I am in it because I was telling one of my bridesmaids the day we're having our wedding, she was asking me, Trish, how are you feeling? Are you getting some butterflies and all that? I said, no, I am not getting any butterflies. I'm happy I'm getting married, but I'm not all over the moon because I'm getting married. I chose my husband because I was convinced that this is who God wants me to be married to. You see? So not let anyone pressure you into making wrong choices. If it doesn't work, they'll be the same people that will come and laugh at you. And do not marry just because of money. Maybe the person you think does not have money today, of which you rejected his proposal, in the next 5 years, you do not know where God is taking that person to. You get it? Things really change. There are times that my husband and I will sit back to look at the things the Lord has done in our lives since we got married, and we are amazed because in the beginning it was not so. You see, it was not so. So that is that.
Thank you so much. Kendi, I hope your question was fully answered because I felt that way. It was fully answered. Don't marry because of tradition for people. What was God's purpose originally for marriage? That is what you should concentrate on. You saw Adam cannot live alone. He needs an helper. And what were they to do with the helper? To bring out children and raise them in the right way. So if your purpose is about you have seen a rich guy somewhere, or when the rich guy has no money, he becomes poor, are you going to stay with them? If you are marrying for looks, okay, looks are attractive, but are you going to stay with this person the rest of your life? Because they are going to grow old. Are you going to grow old with them? So it should be just something genuine. It should be something which is not rushed over. You take your time as you learn each other in courtship. You are taking your time finding what do you want? My partner, what does my partner need from me? At the same time, what can I tolerate the rest of my life? Whatever is doing, can I tolerate? If you're feeling irritated when you are courting, are you going to stand by and get irritated? Because most of the people marry because they say, they will change. There's nothing like changing. There's nothing like changing. Is that true, Coach Trish?
You cannot change a full-grown person. No. If they themselves are not ready to learn and change their lives, it's only God that can change them. I mean, so don't make a mistake of entering a relationship thinking that this person will change, whilst whatever they are doing is a big deal for you. And I always say that it's good to marry your friend because you know this person. You know the good, the bad, you've weighed the two, and then you're like, I can live with this person, knowing that this is...
Sorry, Coach, they have more questions. We have to rush with the time. Okay, you can speak up. Sorry, Coach, for cutting you off because of time. Let him ask more questions.
Yeah,
and then also Lava Girl, he was asking a question, is tempered, what? She needs also to comment in the chat. If Lava Girl, wait a minute, change it. Let us Lava Girl comment what the question was. She is up here. You guys, this decoration, I cannot even find people. She's not up. You can
Lava
open the mic, ask the question, or even ask in the comment section the question you had asked earlier so that we don't forget about you. Coach, can you see the question over there?
How do I deal with short temper in a relationship? Short temper in terms of the person easily getting angry. How do you deal with short temper in a relationship? And I'm asking that, is it related to anger? The person easily getting angry. I'm the one short tempered. That is very interesting. I mean, it's good that you've identified that you are short tempered. And it's good. I mean, you need to identify your flaws and then, oh my God, and then do things that will help you come out of it, because we are always learning. We are always learning. And you can even use the scriptures. For me, one of the things that has helped me most is whatever challenges or flaws I have, I look for scriptures that talk about those things, and then I take the scriptures as pill or as medicine for that thing. You know, I remember I talked about lying, that as much as possible, I try not to lie.
Sorry, guys. Parenting issues.
As much as possible, I try not to lie, because I looked for scriptures that talked about not lying. Like John 8:44. You are of your father, the devil. He's a murderer from the beginning. When he lies, he speaks his native language and he has no truth in him. When I came upon that scripture, I said, so anytime I lie, it means my father is the devil, because I'm speaking the native language of my father, who is Satan, and his language of native language is lying, you know. So if you are hot-tempered, look for scriptures. If you're a Christian, look for scriptures in the Bible that talks about it, and then read them over and over again. And it will now become part of you, you know. In your anger, do not sin, you know. So some of these things, it's help. For me, practically, that's what I do.
She got it. Thank you. Look for Bible verses that talk about it. And right now it's easier to research the Bible verses that talk about this. Life is easier, or life is easier. So go research Bible verses, meditate on them, and finally you'll be able to solve that particular problem. Change it. The floor is yours. We need to be as brief as possible. I'm not rushing anybody, but time is not with us. We have exceeded the time limit. I don't know if they'll cut me off or I'll be able to continue, but it's okay. Chenji, you're welcome. She's able to hear you.
All right, let me hurry up. Now, when it comes to the relationship of the opposite gender, what is the best way to approach it as a parent? Because it may not be in the society I am in right now, but from what I see in the movies, especially the ones from America, little children from the age of 6, 12, 13 could be just acting, but they talk about boyfriends, girlfriends, all that sort of stuff. And personally, I think that is worrying. And the parents approve. 16-year-olds going for saying that they are going on their first date or something like that. So would be the correct approach be like the way the Muslims do it, that they seclude the boys from the girls until adulthood or arranged marriage? Or what age is most appropriate to allow or to give consent to your child that it is okay, I allow you to date and to date wisely?
Sorry, can I turn off my camera?
It's okay.
Can I turn it off?
Yes.
And then when I turn it off, please repeat your question again.
It's okay.
No worries.
All right. Because of regulations in TikTok, there's some things you cannot do with the baby online. So maybe she's breastfeeding. All right. Go on with your question.
No, right. Please start. I lost it.
No problem. So, like when it comes to relationships of the opposite gender, how is it best to approach it as a parent? Because I've seen in some societies from the youngest age of 12, 13, they're talking about dates and boyfriends and girlfriends. So did the Muslims have the right idea that they separate the boys and the girls until adulthood, or arranged marriage, or what age is most appropriate as a parent to give my children permission to date and to date wisely? How do I approach it? Because it's a very sensitive thing.
So if I'm understanding your question, you are asking that as a parent, what age should you make your kids enter into a relationship, right?
Allow.
Yes.
Should you allow?
Usually, pardon?
Should you allow your kids to enter into a relationship?
What age?
What
Yes,
age?
yes.
That's an
because-
interesting one. Because you as a parent, you can say that you want your kids to enter into a relationship at age 18. But for all you know, this kid is already in a relationship at age 12. If they do not tell you, you wouldn't know, you know. Your work is to just teach them everything that needs to be learned regarding dating, relationship, everything, and then pray for them. You have taught them, you've prayed for them. Keep. I think you should develop this personal relationship with them, whereby they are not afraid to come to you to have conversations around some of these things, and trust God with the rest. I'm saying this because for me personally, I didn't date early. Like I waited till I think when I was in level maybe 200, I did some 1 week dating and I left the boy. And then my second one was around level 400. And that was the relationship that lasted 4 years, goes 4 years, and then I called it off. But my younger sister, she started way back in junior high school. Very, very early, you know. I didn't know until we were both adults now, before she was telling me the things she was doing when we were kids. So there are people that you will teach them, you will say this and that, but they can be doing it behind your back. So there is no age. Well, we will say when they are 18 and above, you can not necessarily encourage them, but you are safe that if they enter a relationship around that time, they are safe. But the most important thing, and all that I'm saying, is that you just teach them the pros and cons of it, you know, of relationships, and the dangers that are involved in it if they start early. Because at that age, they do not know much about some of these things, and they can rush into the relationship and be frustrated because they are not well informed to even make the right decision. So basically, what I'm saying is that just teach them, pray for them, and leave the rest to God.
Thank you so much. I've
Yeah,
heard you
thank you for that
speaking
answer.
about people in abroad, like in America, age. There's a period whereby if your child gets, depending on the state you are, maybe over 16, and she gets or he gets a boyfriend, you can do nothing about it. Because if you first thing out, they are going to call 911 for you, and you are going to be in trouble. So there are some things you pray for, some things you just teach your children how to do things, and then they make their decisions. So it depends where you are. Even in Africa, it's another story. It's another story. Now, what is important is knowledge. They have the knowledge and they're able to apply. Thank you so much. Next question. You have the last question, or that was the last question?
Yeah, this one is the last question. Thank you for your previous answer. So like God won't necessarily be angry with you if you don't get married. You know, in Genesis, he says that you should reproduce and fulfill. What was it? Subdue the earth. Yes, those are the words I was looking for. And then in Corinthians, it says that you don't have to get married. Yeah, it's not really like a command. So, and there's no one I've ever met that says that marriage is a bed of roses. You know that life is hard and it's okay. And some things are easy. That is also okay. But some things are, you can really say, hey, this one is difficult. So, do you, since that you are in a marriage, in your genuine opinion, and let me just say this, though it might not come out the right way, religion aside, do you think it is worth it to get married, or it's better to stay single?
That's an interesting one.
Did you hear that?
It's good to marry. For me, it's really good to marry. You have someone to gist with. You have someone to call your friend. I mean, you have someone to talk to, you know. Let's remove the purpose. You have a friend. You have someone to help you. You have someone you can cry on, you know. You have someone who will tell you it's okay. You have someone that even if you are unemployed, they'll be taking care of you. You know, you have someone that you can get ideas from. For me, it's you have someone to yourself, you know. It's nicer than you staying alone. When you are sick, who will take care of you? That friend you are relying on has someone who is taking care of them, you know. If you are single, yes, if you are single, you can go out without telling anybody I'm going out. You can buy KFC, burgers, hot dog. Nobody will ask you any question. You sleep whatever time you want to sleep. You clean whenever you want to clean. Nobody will ask you question. But you feel alone, you know, because you do not have someone you can call, this is mine or this is yours. Yeah, so it's really good to marry. It doesn't mean that there are no issues or challenges in marriage. Like I said, you are two people, so it's normal. Issues will come, disagreements will come, but it cannot be compared to being single. Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
And one more thing, like you have someone who will help you to get more oxytocin.
Can you explain further to us what are those hormones?
Oxytocin helps you to grow older. It gives you, I mean, it's this kind of hormones that are released as a result of intimacy, kissing, hugs, you know. Yeah. But if you want to go to the hospital for them, the oxytocin.
Thank you for answering my question. I appreciate your answers.
Thank you so much, everybody. If you have more questions, make sure you connect with Samora and Trish. Trish, Coach Trish. The account is right there. Connect with her. Try and join our live stream and find out what she's doing. PS wise, you're welcome in this live stream. Thank you so much for your contribution. We are ending it. We were to do 1 hour. And now we are going to 2 hours. Hey! But now, PS wise, you can, like, if you have something to say, then we can end up the live stream.
Thank you all so much. Mother Trish said something last, and if there is time to go in for us to learn something new. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all of you. I know we have learned a lot, and I know we can go on and on and on, but it's time to say goodbye. So thank you so much, everybody. Make sure you're connecting to people so that you get more and more knowledge, and more you put action into it. Because if you have knowledge and you don't practice, then that knowledge does not help you. So thank you, everybody. God bless you. Coach Trish, I appreciate you. I'm going to invite you again to talk about something different, and I'm so excited to invite you again and again. And thank you, everybody who contributed in this live stream. Even if I don't mention your names, I see you and I love you and I thank you. So I'm going to drop all of you. I'm going to drop each one of
Thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be on your live.
Oh,